Money at Work Continuing Education Series. Today's episode and today's installment centers around possibilities. So what are the three possibilities that may happen in our life? And also, what are three things that we need to consider in our financial plan along the way? So three things that can happen in our life possibly. We can die young. We can have a premature death. We can get sick or get hurt along the way. Or we can live a nice, long, healthy life. On our financial life or our financial plan, there's three things that we have to consider along the way as well. We have to consider the effect of time, the effect of taxes, and the effect of market risk. So let's look at these. First of all, in our life, we can die young. Now, if this happens, if we experience a premature death, we need life insurance to protect our family, our inner circle, or really whoever we've invited to be part of our life. Now, there's nothing worse than leaving behind people that you care about that are going to be stuck with not only grieving your premature death, but also in a financially destitute position. If we are along the way and we get sick or we get hurt, we're going to need something. Really, living benefits is the best solution here to help provide money and bridges the capital for income disruption, increased household expenses, and those medical expenses that come along the way with getting hurt or getting sick. It's important because when you realize it's not about the risk of something happening, it's about the consequence of what happens to us if we are struck with one of these things happening. So let's look at our financial plan. We have income, we have expenses, we have available credit, we have our assets, and we have our debt. Now, if a percentage or all of the income is removed from the financial plan, what happens? Well, it goes into a state of chaos. And then normally what happens from this position is we're not able to overcome that sudden loss of income. So that immediate sudden loss of income that hits our financial plan pretty instantly based on these statistics to the right, what's going to happen is very quickly that financial chaos is going to put us in a position where without proper capital, without proper protection, without proper planning, we're probably going to end up in bankruptcy. And you can see that almost 2 million bankruptcies filed last year were from medical issues. So the compounding effect of just the cascading problem of not having things in place can cause utter disaster. Now, on to some good news. We might live a nice, long, healthy life. And if so, that's a great gift and a great blessing, but we need money to cover the retirement years. Remember, for a lot of seniors these days, outliving their money is a bigger concern than actually dying. So if we do live that nice, long, healthy life, what are some things that we have to consider along the way to make sure that we're going to enjoy those years? Well, when you look at the financial plan, what's the problem that we have to consider? Remember, we talked about the three things, and that's time, taxes, and market risk. First thing is time. How long is this going to take? What's that time period that I need to go through the working period of time, the working life cycle, to be able to bridge over to the retirement years to make sure that I have enough money to last the entirety of those years. So time is the first thing to consider. Second thing to consider is taxes. Not only the overall macro tax environment as a whole, but our individual tax status. Those are both big factors. And just from the recent, COVID stimulus, we have thrown trillions and trillions of dollars more onto the pile of debt that we already had. This money has to come from somewhere. If you don't believe that our debt is a problem, check out usdebtclock.org and watch those numbers spin at a dizzying pace. That money has to come from somewhere. It may or may not come from you, depending on how you align yourself with your taxes. And finally, market risk. Remember, the impact of market losses takes a toll on us in terms of two things. Both time and percentage of loss equals money. So when we take losses in the marketplace, we're not only losing money that we have to have a hole that we dig out of, but that time that we get back to break even from the loss is time that we could have been compounding on top of principal and previous profits. So market risk is a big one going forward. Remember, Warren Buffett has 2 rules to market investing. Number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. So with all this, to take into consideration, what do we do? Well, there's 3 things that you have to consider when you look at risk. We can ignore risk, we can eliminate risk, or we can manage risk. You need a plan of action to hedge risk. No matter what life has in store for you, no plan is actually a plan to fail. Want more tips on financial planning? Stretch your think, create your vision, and achieve millionairemindset.life.